Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. If you're new to my channel, you're very welcome. My name is Busola. I'm a final year medical student living in Nigeria. I make medical school and lifestyle videos. If you've not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button right now. Check out all my other videos. I'm sure that you will love them. Today I'm starting a short series of videos that I have been asked quite a number of times, and it's just like going to be a story time about my journey through medical school. So today I'm starting with how I got into medical school, my journey into medical school, and then in another video in a few weeks or months I'm going to talk about how my journey in medical school has been so far from the beginning to where we are right now. And then we're just going to continue like that. I think it's going to be about 3 videos, but in today's video I'm just going to be discussing how I entered into medical school, my journey into medical school. I have been pushing it back a lot, but now that my journey in medical school is coming to an end, I should be done in 3 months. I decided to actually just stop postponing and actually do it. Okay, so yeah, if this is the kind of video that you want to watch, then please keep on watching. I think it would be appropriate for me to start this story time by telling you guys how and why I decided to be a medical doctor, why I decided to, choose medicine. And it is actually quite a funny story. I wish my story was kind of like the cliche. I was good in biology and I was very smart. I love the sciences. I just wanted to know how the human body worked, but quite frankly, that's not how it was. In secondary school, I did not love biology or chemistry. Like they were not my favorite topics. I passed them very well, but I did not have any particular interest in them per se. What I did love was maths. Like I loved math, further math, physics. Like those were my favorite topics. Those were the topics that I naturally just gravitated towards, that I could read all day. I would totally just like be in front of the TV, watching TV and solving math or physics or whatever, or like be listening to music and just like solving math. Like it was just so easy for me. And I also did not think that I wanted to be an engineer, to be honest, because in junior secondary school, believe it or not, I actually considered going into law. I considered being a lawyer because I was very now I know that it's just that I was very assertive, but then it seemed like I was just like very argumentative. Like I remember then that my siblings would say, especially I think my sister would say, before somebody says A, you said it up to Z. Like when I was in JSS 3, when I was about to go into the senior secondary school, where you would actually decide if you are going into science class or art class or commercial class, I had this friend. It's very funny now that I think about it because I was so young. Like I was like 11, 12, and I had this friend who was a lawyer and he was a copper as well. Like he was a copper and he was a lawyer, and we were friends. Like he was actually my friend. Like he would like come to see me at home. Like that was literally the only place where we would see, because he would just come to the house and see me at home. I don't even know how I met him now, to be honest, but he lived around us. It's so crazy because now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder where he is, and I hope that he's fine. He was just like a really special guy. He was a lawyer, he was a copper, and he just became a friend of the family, and like we were friends. Like we used to discuss a lot about different things, and he's like, you would totally be like an amazing lawyer, like you are so young and you are like this, like definitely law. So at that time I was really considering law as well. I was considering engineering because obviously like I loved math, I loved physics, like it just made sense. But the way Nigerian parents are, that when it's like, I think it was a general thing then, like when you are smart in school, once they see that you are smart and you are doing very well, they just automatically think that you should be a doctor. So everybody was like, you should be a doctor, you should be a doctor. And at the same time, I had a lot of doctor influence around me. Like I had a lot of cousins who were in medical school or even doctors at the time, like, and we used to go, or I used to go visit them a lot in school. They were in UCH, and I used to go visit them, and I just really loved the vibe. Like, I just loved it. Like, it just seemed like, oh yeah, this is the life. So I had that influence around me as well. So when it was time to go into senior secondary school, I naturally just picked sciences because I fell out of touch with my lawyer friend, so there was nobody actually gingering me anymore to study law, and it just did not seem like, you know, a probable thing. Like, I liked math, like it did not make sense. So I entered into science class. And you know, I was very confused, and for you to know how confused I was doing math, I was doing further math, I was doing technical drawing. Okay, I was doing TD as well. And in my school then, it was either you did agric science or technical drawing. I was doing both, right? Like, and you know, I was doing further math as well when it wasn't even compulsory for, you know, somebody like me. So I was just like, I just combined everything, and I was doing everything at the same time. Like, the subjects I was doing at the time, it was like, I think I had like 2 extra subjects more, but they allowed me to do it. I don't even know how they allowed me to do it, but I was allowed to do it, so I was just doing that. So at this time in senior secondary school, I was torn between engineering and medicine. Engineering, medicine, engineering, medicine. I like math, but the idea of being a doctor looked pretty glamorous. Like, it just seemed nice. Like, I just like the idea of going to medical school at the time because of my cousins. I think the one thing that tilted me towards, because it was like a tie, honestly, like between engineering and medicine, it was kind of like a tie. Honestly, I didn't know, like, the idea of being an engineer didn't really appeal to me that much. I just knew that I liked math, I liked physics, I liked all these things, but like, what would I do as an engineer? Like, what exactly would I be doing? It didn't make sense to me. So the thing that really tilted me towards medicine instead of engineering is my dad. So I lost my dad, and I lost my dad when I was about to enter into secondary school. Amazing guy, by the way, just like my own personal icon in this life. Definitely my dad. And I know that he just felt like, you know, he felt like I would be an amazing doctor. Like, he felt like medicine was my thing at the time, even though I was very young. I remember having, because like we would like take drives, especially to get ice cream or something, and we would have like all these like mini heart-to-heart conversations, and he would ask me what I wanted to be, and I always used to say, you know, I don't know, like, I actually don't know. And so we would like explore different things. It's so crazy that now I'm remembering all these things, because like I haven't actually had the time to think back at it, but now that I'm making this video, I'm remembering it, and it's like, wow. But yeah, I remember it very clearly that, you know, we would like explore different options, and medicine just seemed to like really stick out for me. So I knew that my dad wanted that, so definitely that just tilted me, because like I kind of idolize my dad even up until now. Like, I remember him so clearly, I idolize him a lot. So yeah, like definitely that just tilted me towards that. And so in SS2, I did GC. GC is like the equivalent of WAEC. So, but you don't need to be enrolled in a secondary school. You don't need to like be properly enrolled into a secondary school to do GC. You can just pay for it and write it in a random center, you know. So in SS2 I did GCE, but the idea of doing GCE in SS2 was just to prepare me for WAEC in SS3. Like, the idea was not that I would leave secondary school in SS2, because I was very young. I was 13, 14 in SS2. I did GCE. I passed GCE very well. My GCE was good. I even had like, I think 2 A's. SS3 came and I did WAEC and JAMB as well. And For JAMB, you pick the university that you want. So they give you a first choice and a second choice. So I picked UI, like, because I really wanted to go to UCH. My first choice was UCH. My second choice was UCH. I really just wanted to go to UI because of my cousins, and obviously I picked medicine for both of them. First, second choice, medicine. So I finished WAEC, finished JAMB, and you know, my WAEC was, I had a good WAEC result, had a good JAMB result as well. My plan was that, you know, if I don't even enter into medicine, I would cross after first year. Like, I wasn't planning to stay at home for anything. Like, I wasn't planning to stay an extra year even if I did not get medicine. My results were very good, but like the competition in UI was also like very stiff as well. If there are more students than you that had like way better scores than you, then they will pick them and then they will give you like smaller courses and stuff. So like, I did not plan to stay at home. Like, in my mind, I'm like, you know, if you don't even give me medicine, it's okay. Like, I would enter for whatever you give me, and best believe I'm crossing into medicine. Tell me why I found out that UI at the time, I don't know if they've stopped that nonsense, but at the time UI was not admitting students that were younger than 16 and at the time I was 15. So yeah, and I picked UI, first choice, second choice, UI. So yeah, I was forced to stay at home. I had to stay at home for another year. Now, mind you, WAEC, the results that you have, it is valid for, I think, 2 years. At least I know it's valid for at least 2 years. But JAMB, that is UTME, that was just valid for 1 year. So if you are staying home for one extra year, you don't have to write WAEC again, but you have to write JAMB again. So what does Busola suggest? I tell my mom that, you know, since I'm staying home for 1 year to write for 1 year and I would be writing JAMB, like, I want to write another WAEC. And writing another WAEC would mean that you would have to be enrolled in a secondary school. Like, you actually have to like join a new secondary school and at least spend a term with them. That's like 3 months with them. And I was literally willing to do that because I'm like, you know what, I even want to do this WAEC again. Like, I want all A's. Like, I was actually like, I'm like, my result is not good enough, I want all A's and I want to write WAEC again. And everybody was like, what are you saying? Like, everyone was like, no, like, your WAEC result is good enough, like, you don't have to write another WAEC. That's ridiculous. So nobody even listened to me on that. That was like thrown out of the door of the window immediately. And so I just waited and I wrote JAMB again. I wrote UTME. When I say JAMB, I mean UTME as well. It's the same thing. So I stayed back for 1 year and I wrote UTME again. While I stayed back, I was attending a lesson, like a JAMB lesson, and that lesson was so amazing, just like so great. I was attending that lesson and yeah, I did JAMB again, and it's so crazy. All these things I'm saying now is just making me very nostalgic. In my house, like, once anybody is doing exam, then the entire house is doing exam, okay? Like, it affects everybody. So like, you know that entire day is for this person's exam. Everybody was going to go with you, okay? Like, the support was crazy. Like, everybody was going to go with you. My mom woke up very early in the morning, you know, made my food, all of that. And like, you know, I was just there like silent. I remember I wasn't talking at all. I was just like very silent. And you know, my mom and my siblings drove me to the place. My mom waited till I entered. She even waited even after safe. And then like, she waited, and you know, she was going to wait the entire time, but I was like, no, like, just go, and you know, you can come back and pick me and stuff. So I did the exam. I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was okay. Did the exam. My mom came back to pick me. Forgot about it. A few weeks or months, I can't even remember how long it took. The results came out. I did amazingly well. Now, I've said it on this channel before. I'm not going to be saying scores on this channel. Like, I don't think that it is necessary. Okay, so but I would be describing it well. If I say I did very, very well, then just know that I did very, very well. Okay, So I did very well. Like, it was a big thing. It was a big deal then, actually. I went back to that same lesson, which was where I met my best friend Rolake. I went back to that same lesson to, you know, do tutorials for post UTME, because, oh, I forgot to say. Now, for my second JAMB, right? Because UI had shown us Pepe the first time, my mom was like for my first JAMB, my mom actually wanted me to pick OAU, like, which is the school that I'm at right now. She wanted me to pick OAU, but I'm like, no. I heard not bad, yeah, I heard bad things about OAU, honestly. I just felt like, you know, a number of people that I know that came here had a, you know, hard time here, and like, these are like amazing, very, very smart people that I know. And, you know, if it's not like ridiculous strikes, like, it's just like something else. So I already had like a bad feeling about OAU, that, you know, OAU breaks you in some way. That was why I picked UI in the first place, you know, for my first JAMB. Now, for the second one, my mom was like, fam, like, I told you. So this time around, I just went with my mom's plan and picked OAU. First choice, second choice again. So so I wrote post UTME into OAU, passed that as well, and then now it was time to wait for admission. So, and the way this thing was, admission lists came out in batches. So I think there were 3 batches or 4, I can't remember, but it came in batches. Okay, so you would, like, you have a portal, you have like your password and your number or whatever, and then you would log on to that page. So it's like it's not like a list, you don't see the list of everybody, but you see, like, you can just log on to your personal portal, and then it will show your status. So if your status would either say pending or say you've been admitted, and say what degree that you've been admitted for. I remember that time, every morning, I kid you not, every single morning that I wake up, every blessed day, I was checking this thing. My best friend at the time also was going to OAU for civil engineering, right? And like, I would just like keep checking. Like, the first batch came out, I wasn't admitted. The second batch came out, I wasn't admitted. I was hearing people getting admitted. My best friend got admitted as well, and me, I was just there looking like, okay. And and I think like a third batch came out. I'm not sure, I'm not particularly sure now, but at the time my mom was already now pushing private uni to me. Like, she actually suggested private uni. The way I rejected it is so crazy now, because I think I was very ignorant at the time, number one. Also, I think private unis are way better now. Like, between then and now, they have improved remarkably well. I feel like if it was now, I would have actually gone to a private uni. Like, I wouldn't have been so against that idea as I was then. But I was just like, it was like, immediately it was said, I just threw it out. I'm like, no, like, there's no way. And I was just so sure. I'm like, there's no way. Like, I did well. Like, my results are great. Like, why am I not being admitted? It's ridiculous. Like, you know, it was such a stressful time for me, because it's just like, wait, am I now not going to go to school again this year? It's ridiculous. Or like, am I now going to go to a private university? I was just very, very anxious. Like, every single morning I would check. And then this particular morning, I woke up, I checked, it still said pending. And like, as the day was going by, like, it was around 11 a.m, 12 p.m, I decided to check again. And I checked, I scrolled through my page, checked, I saw something, right? But in my head, it didn't register in my head that I saw something. I just closed it. It was after I closed it, I now opened it back, like, wait, it didn't say pending anymore. And then I just like went back and I opened it again, and I saw admission status MBCHB. Mind you, I did not know what MBCHB was. I had to go to Google my hands were shaking like, God. I was now thinking, God, please, I hope they did not give me biochemistry or something, or microbiology or something, because that wasn't what I wanted. Not like there's anything wrong with those courses. So I just went and I googled MBCHB, and immediately just brought out Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. Like, I remember clearly my mom was having a bath. I was like barged into her bathroom like, Mommy, and she was like, huh? I remember she was washing her face. And I'm like, I've been admitted. And she's like, oh, Fukini, like for what? Like what were you, like what course were you admitted for? And I'm like, medicine and surgery. I was walking on air. Like, it felt so good, right? Like, that was one of the best news. That was one of my best moments ever. I was so happy. Everyone was so happy. Like, it was just like an amazing thing. And I had to now start preparing for school, like start shopping and everything. And yeah, that was how I entered into medical school. Mind you, there was a strike, so OAU was on strike and we could not resume until the next year. Now, the journey into medical school, if you think that that was tough, the journey through medical school is an entire... You know what? Let's not get into it right now. I am going to tell you guys about it when I'm ready. I keep saying it on this channel, like, I'm going to discuss it. I don't think I'm ready. Eventually I will be. I've been trying to mentally prepare myself, emotionally prepare myself to actually tell that story, but right now I am not, okay? But eventually I would come on here and I will tell you guys how my journey in medical school was or is. It's so crazy. I am so happy that I did this video because it made me reminisce a lot of things that I haven't thought about since it happened. Like, it just made it come back to me. That is it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this story time. Because sometimes I get emails about like people like trying to get into medical school and it's not working out, like, and they are just like completely frustrated and everything. But yeah, I just hope that this, I don't know, this motivates you or something. And just I feel like hearing other people, hearing that other people have gone through the things that you are going through gives you some strength to also, you know, maybe believe that, you know, if somebody else has gone through it and they are okay today, then maybe you will be okay as well. So yeah, I hope this helps somebody. I don't know, but I just like hope that it does. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you've not, and yeah, don't forget to be kind to yourself and be kind to others. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.